Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we are here to talk about a brand new product from Armani Beauty. Well, not so much brand new, but an addition. These are some additional shades of the kind of very, very iconic Armani Beauty Eye Tint Long Lasting Liquid Eyeshadow. I want to thank community member Janet, who first alerted me to these. I had heard about them, and Janet thinks that it might even be a reformulation. I don't know, Janet. We have to look. I have some cross information that's conflicting. Armani seems to say that these are new shades, but I had heard what Janet had heard as well. So kind of we'll talk about it. Armani Beauty says that there are 11 new shades, and they're on the Armani site, and I got mine over on Sephora. There wasn't any new shimmers that I saw, but lots of new in the 11, lots of new metallic shades. I picked up one of them to try, and lots of new matte shades. Don't turn your head at these matte shades. They're actually pretty good. And there's 5 new ones that are on the Sephora site, so 11 new total. I picked up Liquid Silver, which is a new metallic shade, and Light Nude, which is a new matte shade. So we're going to look at those and play with them. If I look a tad bit more glamorous than usual, that is because, and we'll talk about this after the demo, that is because I have added in the lovely BK Beauty collaboration with Risa Does Makeup, and I am wearing false lashes. And it's my first attempt to put them on myself ever. They're not perfect, but it was really easy, and literally first attempt to self put on false lashes ever. If I can do it, so can you. All right, so we're going to talk about that, especially after the demo, and I'll link those below because they're pretty fun. Okay. So we have, like I said, 11 new shades. This is a really interesting silver. So yesterday, I guess it would be when I released this video, I talked about the silver shade in the new Pat McGrath liquid shadow. It is very glitzy and glittery. In fact, let me grab it so we can compare. McGrath is more of a kind of a platinum shade, almost takes on a little bit violet. This is a really kind of almost concrete gray. That sounds like a put down. I don't mean it that way, but let me first show you this one. So this is interesting. Look at how metallic that is. Let me put another. It's really metallic, but when you kind of swish it out, it goes almost like a slightly dewy, a slightly reflective matte shade. These are very subtle. These are some of the most subtle liquid eyeshadows ever, and I do remember that. Remember, this is an iconic product from Armani Beauty. It's not a new product as such, so, you know, we remember these, but sometimes they get forgotten. Armani makes a good product, so it's not fair to leave it in the corner. Nobody puts baby in the corner. There is one of our brand new matte shades. This is Light Nude. And this, you know, it would be, as I say in our closing, it's a little bit much to use as like a paint pot, but that is kind of how I'm going to use it in the look that we do today. Basically, the thing to remember is that these are $36, and they are promising more wear than even Pat McGrath would promise. So the Pat McGrath one, see, this is her kind of version of it, and when you put it next to it, look how much more glitzy and glimmer. I mean, it's a different shade, but it's just got a lot more glitz to it and a lot more metallic sheen. The Giorgio Armani product is much more subtle, and that makes it a little bit easier to deal with. Plus, the Armani has some really beautiful teal and burgundy type shades. I mean, there's some, I didn't go too adventurous with my shade choice here, but you can, and they're a little bit subtler. They're not real runny. They're very easy to work with. When I used to speak about concerns with liquid shadows and how I didn't really love them, everybody would say to me, really? Because have you tried the Armani? And it is true. Even when Stila was ruling the world with liquid eyeshadows, this Giorgio Armani product, the Armani Beauty product, was really still very, very good. And these new shades 11 new shades make for a huge shade range of very accessible, easy to use, kind of foolproof. Where Pat McGrath says that hers last 10 hours, these are supposedly lasting 16 hours with a huge shade range. If you haven't tried them and you're interested in trying a liquid shadow, yes, the Lisa Eldridge is excellent. Yes, I love the shades in the Pat McGrath. But if you want shade choice, ease of use, and reliability for a one and done, it's probably going to be Armani even over Stila, because Stila does get oftentimes very glittery. So I'm kind of interested in your thoughts below. I know there's a lot of you out there that love this product, and thankfully Janet told me that these new shades existed, or I think I would have missed it. All right, let's go now to the demo. I will do a demo of me putting on these BK Beauty Risa Does Makeup lashes, but I have done a kind of a littler version of that. Maybe I'll put it up in shorts or TikTok or something like that. But let's go now. Okay, since we have a matte and a metallic, I'm kind of wondering if we can combine them. Let's take this matte shade. This is that light nude shade, and let's just put it all over the eye, almost like, you guys, I'm feeling like almost like it could be like a primer of sorts. And so I'm just kind of putting it all over, and I'll use this Rephr number 16 just to blend it in. I actually think this is quite pretty, just as a very, very simple, you know, probably not the best to show up on my skin tone. Kind of is my skin tone. I thought it was light medium, but apparently I'm Armani light nude, right? So I'm gonna kind of see, what if this were a primer? Now, again, would be definitely a very pretty kind of subtle shadow, but I you know, it's not very impactful. And that's okay. I mean, you know, what did I think when I bought a matte light nude, you know? I don't know what you would want it to be. It certainly makes my eyes look a little bit more polished, sophisticated, interesting, but, you know, it would be great with I have those BK Beauty Risa Does Makeup false lashes, so I'll put those on. But let's add a little silver in, shall we? This is the new liquid silver shade, so let's just add a little bit. And I don't know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, but I don't know what my plan is here. Let's switch brushes to a Rephr number 14. And just, I could use my finger, but I just want to see. So this is really interesting. This is, oh wow. Okay, so this is a liquid silver, and it's a metallic shade, but it's coming off a gentle gray with a little no diamondy sparkle. You know, in the Stila ones, in the Pat McGrath ones I reviewed, I guess it would be yesterday, there's a lot of sparkle. In fact, if you remove the shade, you see the sparkle. This one is very subtle. Especially when blended out. Almost looks like a slightly more impactful matte. Strange way to put it, I know. Now, when it is just on the lid on its own, as you can see, and I don't want it to set here, but I'll show you real quick, there's much more of a metallicness to it. But as I blend it, this is actually quite subtle. I got a bit messier with that side. This is actually quite subtle and kind of interesting. So I'm going to even it out here, and I put a little bit more on this side. But even so, you really kind of have to put it on. I can see if you really wanted to do a startling look, you would almost just put this all on, almost like a color block type situation. Not my type of style, you guys. But I can see, you know, if you painted it on like that and kind of let it set, and maybe did like a little bit of coloring around it, a really intense eyeliner look or something like that, a graphic type look, you could do that. But just on its own, it's actually very, very pretty. But I think I'm going to try those lashes, and let's see what we come back with. I'm going to keep playing with this here. What an interesting little look. Okay, if I look a little bit more glamorous, it's because I am now wearing the BK Beauty Risa Does Makeup collaborative eyelashes. I'm wearing the little half style martini, and I'm not perfect. I've worn false lashes quite a few times, but they've always been put on by an expert. And you guys know I'm not a makeup artist. I'm a journalist, right? I'm a beauty writer. So I just kind of did the best I could. Not too bad, huh? That's the little half lash. I feel very glamorous now. I'll link those below. I gotta try the longer ones now, but that's kind of fun, isn't it? Huh. I like it. I like it very, very much. Okay, so what we know that's interesting about these Armani products is that the metallic is a gentle metallic. This isn't going to be a high glitter metallic. And I think a lot of people are gonna love that. A lot of you guys avoid these because of the fact that the hue or the shade goes away and leaves a bunch of disco ball glitter behind. You won't have that here, and that's kind of nice. It is a very subtle sheen. Maybe too subtle, but I don't know. And the mattes are really, really nice, perhaps a bit pricey to use in place of, say, a MAC paint pot or concealer. But if I had gone maybe a bit pinker, that would have been a bit more fun. I do kind of like it as an eye base, and I think if I could perfect these longer BK Beauty Risa Does Makeup eyelashes with this kind of bare eye and black liner and a lot of black mascara and a really bold lip, I think that would be a really fun look. So I'm not mad at this at all, even for its subtlety. This promises, of course, more staying power, and I have worn the Armani before, and it does do very, very well. So another plug for Armani and the new shades and all of these brand new liquid eyeshadows that we've been seeing that are quite pretty. All right, let me know below any of your thoughts on applying false lashes. All of these are pretty, I mean, you guys, this is my very first try. That's not bad for a very first try. I'll get better, but my very first try, and they're pretty. I kind of feel like I need to go to the grocery store and, like, you know, blink a lot at people. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on liquid eyeshadows in general on these Armani compared to your experiences with others, and if you bought those Pat McGrath that I reviewed yesterday, which are a little bit more glamorous. I kind of like that these aren't glamorous, so they're really kind of everyday. I'm just adding to the glamour with the lashes. All right, so let me know all of your thoughts below. That's what makes us a community. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sure hope that you did. And hey, if you haven't already done so, make sure that you subscribe to this channel so that we can keep growing, and come say a big hello over on Instagram and TikTok too. Do remember that you can support the craziness that happens here by either becoming a member or by giving super thanks, which so many of you have done. If nothing else, I'm just happy to have you here, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.